To the unhurried passerby, it is just another gated villa on a quiet street, albeit one that looks ready to be transformed into a film set at the first sighting of a glamorous actress. But little do they know that behind these walls is a bona fide grand dame in the Chinese city of grand dames, with a date of birth recorded as the year 1918. In 2002, when Sue Mullinger and her husband Steve relocated to Shanghai, they went in search of a home after years of shuttling between temporary residences. They viewed more than 20 villas and settled on this one in the middle of Shanghai's former French concession. This villa then became the first residential home to undergo restoration on this street.
我先生对这种房子确实是一见钟情，因为我先生他有足够的想象力，他透过这个房子当时的那种破旧的那个表象，他可以看到这个房子本身的结构是很大气的，而且风格是很明显的。
Built close to a century ago for a Western real estate developer as a spec house, its pedigree is unquestioned. After all, it is a house with a place in the Shanghai archives, where a copy of its original building draft is kept. But over the years, the villa has changed hands several times through the ups and downs of Shanghai's history and bore its share of wear and tear. A dramatic facelift later, the house was ready to charm again. The most eloquent comeback is surprisingly accessed via the back door. Under the skylight, the elegant ceramic tiles and distinctive wallpaper put on a daily show of shadow and light, as the sun casts changing designs on the space throughout the course of the day. It is an entry tailored for the most nostalgic of remembrances. And the house has welcomed its fair share of famous guests, including renowned conservationists and a Hollywood film crew.
装修一个老房子哈，就像等于是带着枷锁跳舞。首先得，你喜欢老房子的风格，你才去买老房子，而且你要爱它。 要把它就是像一位真正的美人，你要把它还原青春，所以你一定要特别珍惜它的本来的美色，然后呢再去给它做一个facelift， 做一个就是给它带来那个重返青春的那么一个给它这么一个机会，所以说这个项目是非常的那个难，比如说我们修房子的时候一定要。 就不能把它全推倒重修。我们修的时候基本上是，拆一点修一点，一面墙一面墙的做，一部分一部分的做，一个房间一个房间做，所以是非常的难。这个项目用了我们2年的时间。
From the beginning, the Mullingers were clear on one principle: they would restore the house with a deep respect for what was originally there. And the details of the house in particular would be designed around this one central thinking. As such, the tiles along the corridor were air-flown from the United Kingdom, imported from a tile maker who was making tiles at the time the house was first built, and is still making them. The windows and doors retained their erstwhile look, and the skirting board, too, was remade in the old style.
Steve especially wanted an old house, and he wanted, we discussed that, you know, maybe, I mean, this house was almost as if it was in a time capsule. And you found it one day and just kind of dusted it off, and there it was. And that was the kind of feeling that we wanted to achieve. We didn't want it to seem contrived, we didn't want it to seem overdone, and it was just kind of wanted to be a very natural sort of place. But he also wanted a house that was quite elegant and a lot of interesting details. We spent a lot of time, like these beams, for instance, around us. We wanted this space to feel like it was, just kind of unearthed and exposed. But in fact, these beams are new. But we went to an old wood market out in Suzhou where we bought them from old buildings that had been torn down already. When they first brought the beams back, the carpenters went to work on them and planed them all down and made them all smooth and modern looking. And I came in and I was extremely angry. And I said, no, I want them to look old. I want it to seem like you just ripped the ceiling down and there they were.
And so more old wood was acquired from Suzhou, and this time the workmen got it right. The end result is an entertainment room in the attic that will do quite nicely as the hideaway of a reclusive Shanghai tycoon or a flamboyant bon vivant. The highlight is the circle of a window that looks out to a calming forest of green. A perfect way to while away an afternoon over a leisurely game of chess. Wherever possible, the owners tried to preserve the original character of the house, and the fireplaces found in every room provided the most telling testimonies. In the living room, for instance, the fireplace lends a decidedly warm glow to the space, set off by family photographs and eye-catching art pieces.
From the beginning, the owner and myself, we saw very clearly the same vision, which was this house should be what it would have been had the original owner had the means to do whatever they wanted. Of course, it had to also be practical for a modern lifestyle. It also had to have good insulation and good heating and be very comfortable. These were kind of things that we insisted we would have.
An ingenious twist that provides a constant talking point for visitors is the custom-made wallpaper dressing the main walkways of the house. The wallpaper was designed by a company whose products are used by English royalty and found in the grand houses of New York.
We wanted to have a mural wallpaper. We wanted to have something that was totally unique. In a way, chinoiserie style, where it was a Western person's interpretation of what China was. It was kind of this naive look through the eyes of someone who had never been there, imagining what China was like. Now, this was an interesting twist because the wallpaper is actually painted in China, but the effect is really fantastic.
If one looks carefully enough, one would spot the owners and the architect immortalized on the wall on the second floor, sharing a light-hearted moment in the garden. And as wine lovers who hold frequent dinner parties, the Mullingers also have a cellar underground. This time dominated by a mural of a sun-drenched field dotted with hard-working farmers. For a more modern take, the couple appears on a mural with their twins in tow, returning from yet another happy excursion. These touches personify the 90-year-old house, resurrecting it as a labor of love, equally comfortable in the 21st century as it was in the last. The villa is a stone's throw away from Huaihailu, one of Shanghai's main thoroughfares. But this street manages to retain its quiet, undisturbed nuances, seemingly unaffected by the sounds of progress a few turns ahead. The street is lined with villas rich with influences from all over the world, a visual confirmation of Shanghai's colorful past. The shutters on the exterior of this house, for instance, were reproduced from the old drawings of the house, a cheeky take on its British heritage.
I really appreciate the influences of Western styles in old Shanghai. And you look around Shanghai and you see many different classical architecture styles and very interesting ways that they've been put together. So I always find it inspirational to see the way that the details come together and some of the ways that they solve problems using classical architecture forms.
With close to a century of history behind it, the villa proves to be a thoroughly captivating and reliable narrator, especially of a past way of life.
这个房子是为一对西方夫妇比较小的家庭建的，根据他们生活方式来建的，因为肯定是有主仆分开的2个区域，有两套楼梯，主人一套楼梯，仆人一套楼梯，生活互相不干涉。从那个餐厅啊也可以看出来，它餐厅和厨房的门啊，它中间有一个送菜的窗口，所以说这些都是那种特定的那种生活的那个方式留下来的这些痕迹。
The little window may be no longer, but the luxuriously decked out dining room is still very much a space for social dinners, as it was decades ago. The miniature porcelain figures in the cabinet, too, are a pretty reminder of Shanghai society's ease in rubbing shoulders with the Western way of life. The sunroom adjoining the dining room is one of Sue's favorite spots in the house, whether it's for a breakfast coffee or just reading a book with the sun for company. The master suite upstairs was to be a point of departure from the rest of the house. While the other rooms got their reference from the arts and crafts movement, the spa bathroom in the master suite was decorated in the Art Deco style. It is linked by a walk-in wardrobe, formerly the servants' quarters, to the bedroom. The master bedroom itself is a relaxed, understated space, embraced by plenty of sunlight. Its centerpiece is a painting by Chinese artist Xi Jie, a vivid and happy interpretation of the owner's twins, Dongdong and Xixi.
那我们住进来肯定是说要根据我们的需要来，做一些改造哈。当时我跟我先生还没有孩子，但是我们就觉得，还是要设2个儿童房。然后呢，真是，这个是风水宝地。我们进来以后不久就有一对龙凤胎，非常开心。这个跟我们这个地皮竞争有关系，因为以前那个姓杨的那家人啊，他们是一对夫妇，有9个孩子嘛，所以我觉得这个房子真的非常的容易给人带来好的感觉。这房子就是这样，你爱房子，房子爱你，对吧？这可能都是有感情的。
Sue quit her high-flying job as a banker to take care of the restoration of the house. But she says she has no regrets. In return,